Welcome to Surrey Wealth. I'm Scott Hefty, Senior Wealth Manager here on our team, and I'm joined with Joe Anderson, my partner, and also Senior Wealth Manager with Surrey Wealth. This is our Think in Decades series, which is our perspective video series around having a long-term mindset and making sure we're making strategic decisions with our finances that transcend across years and decades to come. Joe, I know with now that it being the new year, there's some different strategy things we want to have now that we've officially crossed a new fiscal year. I mean, what are the types of things we need to be looking at as we start the new year off strong?
Yeah, I think where you should always start is creating an open dialogue within your family, especially younger families or new marriages, setting the expectation for what financial success means to you and creating tangible goals that you're hoping to achieve along the way. By opening up that dialogue and creating that sort of conversation, you're able to help reduce stress, you're able to create clarity, and you're able to remain aligned across your entire family.
Yeah, I mean, the new year provides such a great time frame, often meeting with families to reset, to realign and re-engage. It's almost like a spring cleaning for our finances, right? So
Great
how do
point.
we use that as an opportunity to make those changes? I mean, what else should we be thinking about as we're looking at the new year?
As you start to have these conversations, I think one thing that you should always look at, especially as a married couple, is who's responsible for what and how you're systematically saving for your goals ahead. What I mean by that is often couples have some income discrepancy. One of the two individuals makes a lot more money potentially than the other. Who's responsible for certain bills is always a nice place to start. I've seen people divvy it up where the mortgage is paid by person A and the home utilities are paid by person B. But having something more systematic in place initially to take care of your household needs is a nice place to start. After that, you definitely want to address how you're systematically saving. And what I think the most important thing is having things out of sight and out of mind, right? Having the money consistently funneling into these various accounts based on their tax status, what your income is. Like Scott has mentioned, that delta basically between what you're earning in terms of income and what you need to accomplish your lifestyle. So by creating something that's systematic, out of sight, out of mind, those are the best savers. Those are the ones that they'll look back in a year from now and they'll see the impact of those changes. It helps you as well from an emotional standpoint, not to follow things day to day, but to know that you already have a plan and a structure in place to make sure you're successful in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it gives such a great benchmark to readjust that plan, right? To create with a fresh set of eyes and make sure we're moving forward. I mean, is there anything else that we need to make sure we're considering as we start the new year off the right foot?
Great question. I'd recommend starting with viewing kind of where you are in your financial journey now. First, that could be young families, right? Individuals maybe with less money, maybe you're just working towards the basics, hopefully buying your first home, saving into your first 401k. I also preach to my clients that they identify college planning for their kids in their goals around college planning. And what I mean by that is I see a lot of people hoping that they can pay for their family's college education, their children's college education. But sometimes they can do that in spite of themselves, right? They're not setting themselves up for financial success in the future. So having a structure and a conversation, working intentionally towards those style of savings, it's a great place to start as a young family. If you're in your kind of peak earning years, you're sprinting towards retirement, if you will, how are you maximizing the savings in the final stretch towards actually entering that distribution stage of your life? How do you make sure that you're leveraging the time that you have left to the fullest? And that's going to be definitely through a lens of things like tax diversification. Having monies in multiple different places, savings vehicles that are taxed differently, not only to help you limit your tax liability today, but creating flexibility for yourself in the future. Then there's those individuals who are entering their retirement stage, and the scenario gets a lot different at that point. It's about how do we protect what we've built? How do we keep, grow, and enjoy this wealth that we've amassed over all of the working years? This is an emotional time. People remember the sacrifices that they made on behalf of their family to ensure that they were in a good place for their retirement. And it opens up new doors as your family grows. You'll see grandkids come into play, maybe new homes or vacation homes or downsizing. You need to have a structure and a plan regarding all of the life changes that are going to happen at that stage. And then finally is the more legacy-driven individuals, those who have amassed a portfolio that they're comfortable and confident with, but they want to ensure that their values are instilled for the next generation and for their heirs. We see often individuals come into the office without any formal estate plan or any formal structure around how those dollars are going to be left behind. Not only do we encourage open dialogue among spouses, but at that stage, we're really encouraging open dialogue between your family and your heirs. How do we ensure that they understand the values and the sacrifices that you made to build that wealth, what that wealth means to you, and ultimately what their responsibilities will be? God forbid something does happen to you in the future and you're leaving those funds behind to them.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I look at this, the beginning of the year, as we're starting a new calendar year, we're starting a new tax season, success at the end of the year begins intentionally at the beginning. And so how are we making those strategic shifts? How are we thinking about not just the issues we might be seeing today, but how we're thinking in a decade-long time frame for how our wealth and our values can transcend? These are the types of questions we need to be asking this time of year.
Exactly. I think you have to open up that dialogue among your family. What are your goals within this next 12 months? What are the law changes that have taken place that you could potentially leverage for your benefit? But also, what are the goals you hope to achieve down the road? Because if you're not planning for those things today, then you're most likely not going to be able to seize those opportunities in the future. Thank you for joining us. We're honored to be a part of your journey as you think in decades.